for people because um, I want to take some time. I think bucket fills today are a big deal, right? Just something good that's happening in your life, something you're grateful for. Um, let's share that. Let's share that today.
Today is my middle daughter's fifth birthday.
Oh,
Dad and mom are taking her and her older sister, one of my other kiddos, out of school to go get her ears pierced.
oh,
Big deal. She really wanted to do
it is a big deal.
And she's 5 and her older sister is 6. So her older sister was kind of a chicken, but the middle daughter she's like, hey, let's do it. So now my older daughter's doing it. So kind of a fun day at our house to go take them to get their ear pierced. And they get to skip half day of school. So they can.
There you go. Win-win. What else? What else are we grateful for? Let's get some positive energy out here.
Some of the people in the PC group are just killing it. Deja has made 3 new clients and the 2 new clients. Madison has had a couple listing appointments set up for this next week. And so Johanni's killing it. Declan, there are a lot of people who are doing a great job. So
Awesome. Congratulations to all of you, by the way. Win, win, win.
Bucket fill, Jen Prezioso. I'm going to be going overseas to see my son in Barcelona in March, and I was like freaking out about how am I going to handle going away for that long a time if anything happens with clients or if I get new clients or whatever. And she offered to step in, and then just found out last night that my dad is ill and I might have to get down to Florida sometime in February. And so to just know that you have somebody that, especially when you're a solo agent, that somebody's willing to step in and like, you know, share the stuff with you when you're not on the team. Really, I don't know. Oh.
What else?
Hey, Amy,
Yeah.
can I make a suggestion that when people talk, none of them show up on the screen? Could they? I recognize most of the voices, but could they
What's their name? Yeah.
say their name so that we all know who's talking?
Yeah. I will absolutely do that. All right. What else? What else is good? Rick.
This is Rick Brahma, John. So my daughter had surgery a few weeks back, and she's got a roommate and a friend. His name is Son, and he helped her out. He made sure that she actually got there, and she did what the doctor said, and he brought her home, took care of her and everything. And this last weekend, this gentleman actually had a serious medical situation. He had a seizure, and in the car was my daughter, and my daughter called 911. They went to HCMC. They spent over 24 hours. This is on Saturday, granted, at HCMC, and then ended up coming to our house and just stayed there for an additional day. And Hudson came over, and just as a family, everybody was kind of supporting each other, and it was super cool to see that these younger, young adults, I should say, are just everybody's kind of taking care of each other. It's pretty cool.
What else? What else is good?
It's really freaking cold, and Sherry's leaving to Arizona.
oh, that is good.
Leadership team and John, and I say this, you probably saw my post or maybe didn't see my post the other day, and there's a lot of stuff going on in our area, right? And John was kind enough to allow me this year to work on some of my own things and personal growth. And I went to a training, and it was called NLP, and it's neuro-linguistic programming. And it could have not hit at a better time for me, right? Just to learn different things. And I've had some personal conversations with people in this room, right? Because as we talk about bucket fills, we talk about things that are awesome and great. And, I see some looks that are like, things aren't great right now. And we'll talk a little bit about that. We have a guest that is going to be talking about business stuff as well. However, it talked about perspective, right? And at the end of this meeting, I'd love to go over like how we're all different and how our perspectives in life are different and how we can handle different things in life. And so John allowing me to go to this training and being able to have that, to be able to handle situations like things that are going on right now is truly priceless to me. And the leadership team took over last week while I was gone for, I don't know, 5 days, 4 days. I guess some of them were the weekend, but, so I'm grateful for this company allowing me to do things like that, so that I can bring tools and techniques to you guys and be supportive in a way that, can help you personally and professional. So thank you, John. And thank you, leadership team, for allowing me to be out of the office. All right. Okay, so is that tonight? That's tonight. It's today. So we actually have, I think, 20 people signed up for this. If you were like, hey, we need, someone else, things are going on, they want to get into real estate, they want to help people, send them today, right? It is what time again? 4 to 6. I think about 20 people are coming. We've got some teams that are going to be there. It's going to be a great opportunity to get to know them. Also, the PC is going to be there. Send it to people today. Again, they can still register. And we'll be doing this more than one time a year.
Don't change it yet, Lydia.
Don't change it yet, Lydia. And if you have people at other companies that are struggling, by the way, that's happening a lot in conversations that I'm having with agents right now, send it to them. And just be like, hey, come see what we're doing here, because I can't tell you that it is not the same here as it is at other places in regards to.
Are you gonna be here tonight?
It should be reposted again today. Yeah. Next. This is tomorrow. Yeah. So join Jess and Courtney, which, by the way, if you guys want like an insider, these two know exactly what they're doing, right? So this is all about Google reviews, and both of these teams have over, I don't know, 150, some have 400, no, 100 something. 126 reviews. Okay. I know that there's other people in here that don't even have 5. Okay. And that's a big deal with AI right now. Like if you aren't having Google reviews, this is how people are showing up on AI. And when people are searching it. So this is a great way to see how they're doing it. It's really tactical versus just like, oh, it's fun to have Google reviews, right? So they're going to tell you how they get these. Do you guys want to say anything about it? Are you guys excited? Like you guys are excited about this, standing up in front. Yeah, she's like, yeah, I'm so excited. I also want to say, like, when you're a director of ops, right? When you're up in front of people, this is not your go-to. Okay, like they are volunteering their time to teach you something that they might not feel comfortable sitting up here, right? Like it's not like they're, hey, guess what? Can I be in the front of the room? That's not their personality style. Okay. So the fact that they're doing this means that they want to help you. So show up, give them some support. Okay. We have a guest today. I think she's on. Sarah, I think it is Sarah Maslowski. I don't want to totally butcher your name. I was Ostrowski before I got married, so love it. We get to have her on today as a guest to tell you a little bit. The play is actually in front of you. So prior to, I was teaching these plays. And it was like, oh, cool, Kami. Like, I'm so glad you're teaching Sarah's play. She has been so kind to jump on this call and kind of work through the play as well as be here to answer questions. And I'll kind of let you explain a little bit. Tell us a little bit about you. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate being here. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah. And by the way, there are people in the room. It just seems as though they're all terrified to sit in the middle and the front.
Yes, I see that. I see that. So I can see the backs of your heads right now. So thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Or having me live stream to you. So I want to talk to y'all about how I have built my business on YouTube and how you can too. So I'm going to give you a brief introduction history of how I got to where I am, and then we'll walk through that playbook that you should have in front of you. So I got licensed as a real estate agent in 2018. I lived in North Metro Atlanta, which is where we live. Now I've been here for 10 years, 11 years. But when we first moved here, I was a teacher and I did not like teaching, kind of fell into it. at the height of the recession and needed a job. And so they would hire you if you had a 4-year degree to be a teacher. And so kept teaching. But finally, when we moved up here, I was like, I have to figure out how to get out of teaching. Did not like it. And my background was in marketing, but I had only had a couple of years in marketing before teaching. And the job prospects really sucked. And so I was trying to figure out what to do and had always enjoyed real estate, thought it was going to be, easy and fun. And, but I was terrified about that part of being 100% commission based. So I never really considered it as a real career. But finally, after like exploring the other,
Yeah. Like, how many people are like, ooh, I might go get another job when things get tough? There have been people that have thought that, right? So she's
yes,
successful and also thought this. So I just want you to be able to relate to that piece.
yes, yeah. And even after starting real estate for that first year, it was like every other month I was looking at teaching jobs online, thinking I needed to go back into teaching because that fear, just grips you because you're like, oh gosh, that deal just fell apart and I don't know where my next deal is going to come from. So like that was definitely me for a good solid 18 months in the very beginning of real estate. Um, Long story short, I finally decided to go for it with real estate. All the other job options did not seem very promising. And I felt like if I tried hard enough in real estate, I could at least replace my teacher income, which was not that big. Um, so because we weren't here from the metro Atlanta area, and all I had really done was teach, I had a very, very small sphere. So it was sitting at that Ignite at Night course that I was taking talking about lead generation, and it was all about how many conversations you can have and how many people know you. And for me, it was like a big oh no moment. Like, what have I gotten myself into? I don't know that many people. And, I just thought that I would work an open house and people would want to work with me. And, that this small group of people that I did know would just naturally want to work with me. And it was then I kind of realized like, this is going to be a lot harder than what I thought it was going to be. So, my first year and a half in real estate, 2 years, was very much a hustle and grind. Open houses, calling expireds, stalking people in Facebook groups that said that they needed a real estate agent. So anywhere and everywhere I could pick up business, that's what I was getting my business from. And so as a result of that, it was just 2 and 3 deals here and there from various different lead sources because I would go to a class like this, hear a great idea, and see someone be successful at it and think like, oh, okay, yeah, that's I can do that. And then I would go and try it, not really go all in and have maybe just a tiny bit of success. And by that point, I had sat in another class and found another great idea. And, I was just the squirrel, right? Shiny object syndrome. Wasn't really like focused on one thing. So after 2 years of doing that, I was very exhausted and tired of kind of like that hustle and grind and was trying to figure out like how can I find like my passion or my lane, like what is going to be my one thing outside of my database, what is going to be my main lead gen pillars. And at the time I was trying to make video a thing and was struggling with it, wasn't having success. And this was in 2019, 2020. The only place that you could put videos were Facebook and YouTube. Instagram Reels wasn't a thing, and TikTok definitely wasn't a thing quite yet. So, posting videos on Facebook and YouTube and was having like zero success. Nobody was calling me, wanting to work with me from those videos. And they were things like listing videos. I went and interviewed local restaurant owners. I made videos on like how to get your home, ready to sell, how to save money on property taxes. Um, all of those videos are still on my YouTube channel. If you scroll way back today, you can still find them. They're there. Um, and so I was very frustrated with the video thing, but you kept hearing it, in all these classes and on the internet. It's like you have to do video. And it wasn't finally until like mid 2020 I came across a group of real estate agents that were having success with video and they had YouTube channels. And I was like, well, what do you mean? Like, I have a YouTube channel. I'm posting videos there, but no one's calling me. And so I went and looked at their YouTube channel because I was nosy and wanted to see like what magic they were doing. And when I went and looked at their YouTube pages, I realized like their videos were drastically different than what I was doing. All of their videos were about relocating to the area, what it's like living there, things that you needed to know before making a move to that area. What was it like living in one town versus another town? They did not have any listing videos. They were not interviewing any local business owners, and they definitely did not have any like property tax videos. And so it was like a big eye opener for me. And the reason that YouTube works so well for real estate agents, specifically making this relocation based content work so well, is because this is what consumers are searching for. And so, whenever they're thinking about moving to an area and they're seeking out information about what it's like living there, you can't really go find that information on other social media platforms. They're going into Google. And so when someone searches, what is it like living in Tampa, Florida, they're getting website results, but then they're also getting video results. So even if someone's not even intending to go on YouTube, they're going to get served YouTube videos within that Google search result. Now, even today, just a recent development, now they're getting served AI search results in addition to video and websites. The really cool thing about your long form content on YouTube is that AI search engines, they love long form video. And so they're actually crawling all the YouTube videos and the transcripts of those videos to get information whenever they're giving those results back to someone searching in AI. So now, not only can someone not even go on YouTube to find or intend to find your video, but they can just search in Google and be served that up in an AI search result. So that's super, super cool and kind of just speaks to the power of what we're going to talk about today. Um, so another reason that YouTube is so incredibly powerful is the fact that the videos that you're making, they're very informative. They're very advice given, but realistic advice that you're telling someone about what it's like living there. You're not selling, you're not having to follow any crazy trends or pair it with trending audio like you do on other social media platforms in order to like help videos get seen. You're making evergreen content. And what that evergreen means is that someone could watch the video today and it would be relevant, and then someone could watch it a year from now and it would be relevant. So, whenever you start making these videos, you're building up like an entire library of you being the expert in your area. And so, I still have a lot of videos today that people watch that were made 2 years ago, a year ago. And so that's the really cool, powerful thing is that it's kind of like you make the video once and it continues to work for you every single day. It's getting views from people. And it could be videos that you've made a year ago. Whereas if we compare that to kind of like Instagram or TikTok, they want to serve the most relevant videos that are of the moment at that exact time. And so in order to stay relevant, you have got to keep churning out those videos every single day. Whereas YouTube, they don't care if you made that video 2 years ago. If that's the best video that they think is going to match what that person is searching for, that's the content they're going to share. So that makes it so incredibly powerful. And why I'm such a big proponent of that if you're going to make video content and you have limited resources and limited time, YouTube is by far the most powerful return on investment that you can make when it comes to making video that actually turns into business. Because at the end of the day, we're not content creators, right? We are real estate agents and we need people to work with so that we can get a paycheck and help our families. And so that's what we care most about. And hands down, YouTube is the best platform for actually getting leads. So let's talk about how to do that. So I'm going to pivot to the playbook. So the first thing you want to do is you want to identify your niche. So cheat code here, your niche is going to be people that are relocating to your area. Making relocation content is the number one best type of content that is going to connect with audiences that are actually searching out your information that you're providing. So think about it. Your neighbor, say they want to sell their house and move into another neighborhood in your town. They're not going on YouTube searching for information on that neighborhood. They already know. They're also not going on YouTube likely to ask for a or research a realtor recommendation. They're going to ask a friend or a neighbor, right? But someone that's never been to your town before or whose spouse just got a job relocation there, they are the ones that are searching on YouTube for information about the town. So that's how these videos are getting seen and that's how they're getting found. So that is the types of videos that really connect well. And when I say those are the types of videos that work, those are exclusively the videos that you want to make. So you don't want to sprinkle in any additional listing videos, or you don't want to throw in an interview with your lender that you work with. You want the content to strictly be only relocation videos, week after week after week. So, in order to make that a little bit easier and to help you plan out the content that you're going to make week after week, you're going to choose 4 content buckets. And those 4 content buckets are things that you're going to rotate through every single week so that every 4 weeks you're repeating kind of like the same topic. Some of the types of content buckets that work really well are things like pros and cons. So, what are the pros and cons of living in your town? And then the next 4 weeks that comes around, you're going to make that same video, but you're going to choose another town nearby that you serve. Another example of a bucket is cost of living, the true cost of living in your town. And then the next 4 weeks, you're going to make it on that other neighboring town that you serve. If you have specialty neighborhoods in your area, or you have something that you specialize in, maybe it's active adult communities, or maybe you are in a vacation market where you have second homes or lake homes or, you know, condos that are a niche that you serve, you can make a video about that every 4 weeks. So pick those 4 buckets that you're going to rotate through. The importance of those buckets and rotating through them are a couple of things. One, it makes your planning out your videos so much easier because you kind of have a segment, or you know what category of video you're doing every single week. The second reason that bucket strategy is so important is that it gives YouTube time to figure out who was watching your video every single week, and really for that entire month, before you turn around and make a video that's very, very similar to it again. And so if you're making a pros and cons video, YouTube algorithm has 4 weeks to kind of figure out who's actually watching this video, what are they searching for, what's being served up to them, what are they actually clicking on, before you make another pro and con video the next 4 weeks. And then you're kind of like starting that algorithm all the way back over again. So it gives time for YouTube algorithm to kind of figure out what's happening behind the scenes. Do not be afraid to be specific in your videos. So you want to make videos based on the towns that you serve and the area that you serve. Get really nitty gritty, the best golf communities that people need to know about. If you want that to be like a niche that you're going to serve, like that's the types of videos that really work. When it actually comes time to making the videos, there's lots of different ways that you can do this. Right now, I'm talking to you in what they call a talking head style, which is where you're seeing me talk to the camera. I'm stationary. I'm not like out and about in the field, walking around with a selfie stick or having a videographer follow me around. So that's one way of doing it. You can actually go out and film on location, whether you're putting a tripod up with your camera and you're doing it yourself, or if you're hiring it out, you can do it that way too. There's a guy down in Florida who's in Palm Beach area. He puts a little GoPro on his bike, and he like pedals around the town talking to his GoPro, and he has another GoPro that's like facing out. So he's capturing, what he's bicycling by, and that's how he makes videos. And he's very successful making videos that way as well. So there's a lot of different styles of how you can do this. You just have to figure out what works best for you and how do you like to make videos. For me, I really love this talking head style because I could be filming this at 11 o'clock at night and you would never know, right? Like I can control so much more of the elements when I'm inside filming versus outside filming. I don't have to worry about the standing in a neighborhood and the school bus going by, or the neighbor deciding like now is the perfect time to blow off the leaves from the driveway, and you're out there trying to, film your video. Or so lots of different things can go wrong when you're trying to film outside. And so for me, I prefer to do it this way. Whenever you're delivering your content, so you've picked out the bucket of what you're going to do. You've decided on the video that you're going to make, and so now it's time to actually film the video. And whenever you're filming the video, you want to get right into what you're talking about. You don't want like a long intro. You don't want 15, 30 seconds of telling people who you are and why they should listen. You just want to deliver on the promise of the video. So if we're talking about the pros and cons of living in your town, those first couple of sentences are telling people, hey, we're going to get right into talking about the pros and cons. And then the rest of the video is you want to deliver on what you said that you were going to deliver on. Tell them the pros and cons. Don't be afraid in your videos to tell people the actual negative parts about your town or some of the downsides about where you live. If you're talking about a specific neighborhood and you know that the traffic is terrible outside of that neighborhood in the morning and the afternoons, you want to tell people that. But then you also kind of want to tell, like, hey, if it's such a popular neighborhood and the traffic's so bad, why do people still choose to live there? And then you can tell them, like, hey, people love living here because, you're super convenient to all the great grocery stores that are nearby. There's tons of kids in the neighborhood. There's always, events happening in the neighborhood, and that's why this is the sought after neighborhood. So being really authentic and honest in your videos and delivering that information helps build that trust with people that are watching at home. And it signals to them that you're not just someone that's like blowing up a bunch of fluff about this town and area and only sharing the good things, that you're also being incredibly honest with them about some of the negatives too. Because here's the thing, someone's negative could be someone else's positive, right? And so there's always those trade-offs. And as long as you're kind of presenting the information in that way, it helps you be really authentic and honest. So capturing their attention in that first 15 seconds by getting straight into the information is super helpful and important. And then going through throughout the video, at some point, you can introduce yourself and tell people that you're a real estate agent and that you help people just like them move to the area. And that's important, but really the video content itself is what's doing the heavy lifting and doing all of the selling for you. You don't have to have a landing page that captures people to download your relocation guide that then you have to hound them and call them to try to get them on the phone. No, your video itself is providing all of that great information. So after you make the video, you are going to want to leverage this out to an editor. And that's a very, very important piece to this. You can edit them yourselves. My very first 6 videos that I ever did, maybe it was 4, I edited them myself. I quickly realized that like I have no business being an editor. I was staying up way too late at night trying to figure out how to do stuff. And I was like, this is for the birds. I want to go to sleep. And so I notoriously am kind of cheap and don't like to spend money on things. And I realized that if I was going to put out a video every single week and stay consistent with this, like this is the one piece that I had to leverage out. So you can find lots of great resources for editors online. There's like a world of great people out there. You might have someone younger in your life or someone with these skills that you can leverage it out to locally. So whenever you're posting the actual video, you want to tell people how to reach you. So you want to put your information in the description of how someone can reach you. That can be an email, it can be a phone number, or it can be a Google form. I've gone through every iteration of what's possible to teach people how to reach me. And what we have found works best is sending them to a Google form to fill out. And then that triggers an email and a text message that we have set up that comes to us. And then we can reach out to them to schedule that phone call. through working with leads, I've realized that why a phone number is not necessarily the best way for people to get in contact with you is because when you do start getting leads, which is incredibly exciting, those people are going to call you no matter what time of day, all throughout the day. And so, you could be in the middle of the grocery store shopping and you might get a lead and they want to talk about launch into an hour conversation about their upcoming move. And, that's not really the best time for you to take that phone call. So that's why we have found that Google form works so well. It also allows us to kind of put in some screening questions because when you do start to work with these leads, some people are going to call you and they're like, hey, we're going to be there next month looking for a house. And then you have some people that'll reach out to you and they say, hey, we want to be there in 4 years, but they want to talk to you today. And you're like, okay. So it kind of helps you prioritize a little bit of how quickly you want to get back to someone and where they can fit in on your schedule. So whenever you're actually posting that video, you want to have a description of what the video is about. You want to have a call to action of like how they can get in contact with you, whatever that preferred method is that you want them to get in contact with you. And whenever you're posting, you want to make sure that you have a really good thumbnail. So a thumbnail is kind of like the book cover of that video. That's that thing whenever you're searching on YouTube and then you get those search results of what videos they're suggesting that match what you're looking for. That's that book cover of that actual video. So you want to have an engaging thumbnail. And there's lots of great ways to do that. And I'm such a big fan of finding a couple of people that are doing this well, that you like their style and you like how they do it, and just get a ton of heavy inspiration from them. So oftentimes we'll need ideas for thumbnails and I'll go and see what some of my friends are creating across the United States. And I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. We can kind of alter that a little bit and, mimic that thumbnail for our next video. You just want to make sure that you're not doing that with people that are like directly in your backyard, right? Because then that's a little bit too much inspiration locally. All right. So after you post the video, it's very important that you're patient. So it's going to take time for the YouTube algorithm to work, and it's going to take time for those views and people reaching out to you for that to kind of grow. And it's going to happen over time. For me, it took 6 videos before I got my very first lead. For a lot of agents, on average, it takes about 3 months of posting 1 video a week before you start to get that first call. And so whenever I got my first lead phone call, my views were incredibly low on the videos. And also like the subscriber count was very low. And that's okay. What's most important is, are you actually getting people that are going to reach out to you and call you? Because who cares if you have a video or a channel that has tens of thousands of subscribers and tens of thousands of views if no one calls you? Because at the end of the day, that's why you're making these videos, is you want someone to call you and you want opportunities to work with clients. So really focus on, am I posting consistently, and give it about 3 months or so. And are those people that are watching, are they turning into people that are actually going to reach out to you? It is important that you're actually available and have a system in place so that when people do reach out to you, that you're able to work with them. So, we know realtors who don't answer their phones. So if you're going to tell people to call you, make sure that you have a method in place to capture them, get them into your CRM system. If you're having them fill out that Google form, make sure that you're very responsive to that and that you have a backend system in place from getting it from the Google form into your CRM. Whenever people do leave comments on your videos, you want to engage with those comments. So respond back. All engagement on your video is good engagement, whether someone's complaining about your video or maybe they disagree with you on your video or what you're saying about your area. That's okay. YouTube has no way of knowing if when people are leaving comments, if they're good comments or bad comments. And so they just see that as engagement and they see that as something that's positive. So one thing that you can do to foster those comments and engagement on your video is that while you're delivering your topic and you're filming, you can you can ask a question and ask viewers to leave a comment and let you know what they think about it. So if you're talking about HOAs and you think it's a good thing, or you're presenting information on HOAs, you can say, hey, if you're watching this, what are your thoughts about HOAs? Would you ever buy a home in a neighborhood with an HOA? Let me know in the comments. And then just keep going back to your content that you're providing. So sprinkling in a couple of questions in your videos to foster that engagement can be really helpful in having people actually respond in the comments. And then lastly, whenever people do reach out, you do want to follow up with them just like you would a regular lead. So the great thing is that whenever people reach out to you from YouTube, they are often calling you to say, hey, we are moving there in 3 months. We're coming into town, in 6 weeks to explore the area and find a house. We want to work with you. That's amazing. Like that's the best type of lead that you can get on YouTube. The other types that you get are people saying like, hey, yeah, we're really considering thinking about moving to the area. We haven't fully committed yet, but if we do, we want to do it within the next year. And so those are the types of leads, just like any other type of lead source that we would work with leads. We want to have a way that keeps them top of mind for us so that we're following up with them. And so as your leads start to increase, we really want to make sure that we have a back end system in place to really follow up. This is just being an agent 101, right? We have to stay in touch with our leads and stay top of mind with them. And just like with any other lead source, if you don't keep in touch with them, they're going to fall through the cracks. So there's nothing worse than this has happened to me where I get busy, I follow up with the lead, and I had in my notes that they were planning on moving in a year. I hadn't talked to them in 6 months, and I reach out and say, hey, I remember that you were thinking about moving by the end of the year. Is that still something that you plan on doing? And they're like, oh, yes. We did decide to make a move. We just moved into our new construction house 2 weeks ago. We love it here. And you're like, great. So happy for you. Welcome to the area. And then, internally I'm kicking myself because our system wasn't good enough to make sure that we were, following up with them as we should. So it just falls into like a traditional great 36 touch plan or whatever method that you have to keep in touch with clients. But you just really want to make sure that you are keeping in touch with them because that is so, so important. So the great thing is that once they come to you, it just kind of becomes like a normal lead follow-up plan. And the cool thing is that they're reaching out to you to get to want to work with you, and you're not having to track them down or call 100 expireds to convert 2 or 3 of those. The conversion rate on these leads are very, very high because they are just so great and motivated because your videos have really done all that heavy lifting for you. So that is the plan. And
We have about 5 minutes. If we have questions, would you be open to taking some questions?
of course, yes, I love.
We've got a question in the back. You might have to speak up loud.
This is Jason. I don't know if you can see me or not, but in regard to becoming an expert on your HOAs or expert on the golf community or expert on the school district, did you kind of, while you were developing this, did you feel like a little bit of a phony syndrome, or did you kind of really have to do your research to then create that expert of the pros and cons of the certain criteria you were talking about? How did you go about that? Because I think you're right. I think that niche of moving to the area is huge, but I want to make sure that my content isn't just crap. And obviously it's authentic, but also factual as well.
Yeah, that's a great question. So you do want to make sure that you are researching your topic, right? So the great thing is that even if you've lived there forever, or if you're like me, who have only been here for 10 years, you still want to do that research. And so what's changed over the past 5 years that I've been making this content is that AI is so incredibly helpful now that, the AI can do, 80-90% of the heavy lifting of doing that research for you. And then obviously, it's not perfect and you're still going to want to come in and put in your own spin and your own advice and your own local knowledge that can never be replaced by AI. But yeah, so like knowing things about property tax rates and one county might have a more generous senior homestead exemption than the next county. So all of those things are things that I've kind of forced to learn and internalize that knowledge through making these videos. But the really cool thing is that from a client standpoint, they just think that you've always been this great expert, and have all this great knowledge. They don't know that you didn't have that knowledge and you had to go research that, and then now you're presenting it. So this also is really cool in that it works well if you're a newer agent or if you're someone that's lived there for 50 years. Um, we all have access to the same type of information and we can research that and present that. And so I think that's incredibly helpful.
Thank you.
Cool. Any other questions? Oh, we have one more.
Have you found a sweet spot of length of time for your videos that really works for that engagement?
Yes. So YouTube really wants your videos to be at least 8 minutes long, and that feels long. And just know that in order to, in my opinion, accurately and thoughtfully deliver on the promise of your video, it takes about 8 minutes to kind of share that information. And so the reason that the 8 minutes is important is that that is when the YouTube algorithm and their ad placement, they can maximize the most amount of ad revenue for that video at the 8 minute mark. And so YouTube's goal is to keep people on the platform as long as possible and to make as much money as possible. And so whether or not you're earning money from those ads, it doesn't matter. YouTube's still putting ads on the videos regardless. And so they really like those 8 minute videos. I also think it just 8 minutes, it takes 8 minutes to explain something to someone. And now that's to say, like, if you make a video and it turns out to be 7 minutes and 45 seconds, I'm not stopping and remaking that entire video. I'm just kind of like looking at my process and saying like, hey, that outline didn't yield an 8 minute video. It needs to be a little bit longer next time. And kind of, learning by trial and error your own system. Some people will script out an entire video and use like teleprompter apps. Some people will outline the video. And so they'll, maybe have their bullet points on a piece of paper and they'll look down and then they'll look up and deliver the lines to the camera, look back down, look back up. And so the great thing with editing is they're going to edit all that out to make it look a lot better. And so, there's lots of different ways that you can do that. But yeah, 8 minutes is where you want to be or longer.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing this. And I'm sure you'll have people reach out to you with other questions if that's okay with you. Otherwise, they'll go and look at your YouTube channel and probably take some notes.
Yes. Yeah. Thanks for having me. I do have a website that kind of gives a little bit more detail on some of the stuff that we talked about today, and that's YouTube with Sarah with an H. .com. And I don't know if any of y'all are going to be at Family Reunion in Atlanta this year, but I would love to see y'all. And there's going to be lots of great social media stuff there. So we're excited.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Okay. How many of you are doing videos right now or YouTube? A few. It's like this shaky. It's kind of like maybe kind of, sort of. I don't really want to talk about it. I mean, those are great topics, right? Like, and just kind of like tidbits of how to truly get what she's getting from her YouTube. Prior to the vendor spotlight, Lydia, I want to go over something. I think there's some people reached out to me just in regards to, again, what I kind of talked about at the beginning of the meeting. We are going to have a space held if anybody wants to talk about anything that is happening for them in their life right now with the way that the community is. I am a place to come to and talk to, and I will hold space for that. We also do have a group that wants to just meet and talk about ways to help in regards to collecting food and donations and whatnot. Later on this afternoon, what time is it? Probably around noon. They'll be meeting in here, so that's a time for everyone to get together to kind of say what they're doing or if they need help and where to go for that. What I do want to talk about is perspective, right? Because part of being a leader is knowing that everybody comes from a different background, everyone has different thoughts, different programming, and different perspectives. So I want to show a video. When you take a look at this video, all I want you to do is look at the people in the white shirts and count how many times they pass the basketball. So I want you to do. I want you to, has anyone seen this video before? A few people? Okay. So I want you to look at this, right? And that's all I want you to count is how many times the basketball is passed. Okay? Go ahead. White shirts, basketball passing.
Wearing white pass the basketball. How many passes did you count?
You got it. How many times did you count?
16.
50.
14.
I did 14.
How many of you saw the gorilla walking across the screen? How many of you did not see the gorilla walking across the screen? Really? Okay, let's play it again.
The correct answer is 15 passes. But did you see the gorilla?
I did not.
That's so awesome.
But I was.
Here's getting in the way.
I couldn't.
Oh,
yeah.
Same video, same exact video. How
This
many,
video is from research by Daniel Simon.
what letter was on the wall?
Yes.
How many of you didn't see a letter? How many letter S's were there? There was 2. So the point of this video and the point of my post, right, is that whatever we focus on, there are actually 2 million bits that come at us at any point in time. Just a ton of information, right? What we filter out is what our programming and what we actually view and like. I told you to focus, they told you to focus on the white shirts. What did your unconscious mind do? It just focused on the white shirts. That's all that you were picking up. There was a lot more in this video, right, than the white shirts and the basketball. So as we're maneuvering through these times, everyone has different perspective. And you're focusing on what you and your programming has been since childhood, right or wrong, right? I think when you watch this video, you can understand what I'm trying to talk about. I am shaking as I'm saying, right? Like there are people that have very different views in this room. Think about perspective and try to think about other people's perspective. And I challenge all of us to have conversations with people that have different perspectives than us. Don't argue. Don't try to persuade them. Be a human. Be kind. Go out and sell real estate, help people, and be the light. Can you guys all agree on that? Questions and comments about that video? Yeah.
Read an article the other day that was about just the different algorithms that we get basically like no matter what your viewpoints are, whatever you're feeding your brain with and constantly logging on to, the algorithm picks that up, almost like even with lead gen, right? The algorithm picks that up and they're feeding you the same information over and over again. One of my very best friends has extremely different viewpoints than I do. And I was I was getting frustrated with her this week and I was realizing like we are getting fed 2 totally different viewpoints of information. And I had also backed down for a very long, actually probably since I joined Keller Williams, posting anything. I was like, I'm a real estate agent. I'm not going to post anything. It's going to ruin my business. And this was the first time that I decided, no, I'm going to step out of that comfort zone. If I lose business for it, I'm going to do it anyway. I have to stick to where I feel comfortable and what my moral ground is. When I look at my stories, and I did put it on my business page, I guess I have it on my personal one. The people that I see tuning in the most to whatever I'm putting out are people that have extremely different viewpoints than I do. And I thought, okay, I have to recognize that people are trying to see other sides of things. When I used to teach English to middle schoolers, I would tell them, you always have to look at both sides. You have to put yourself in the shoes of the other side and see where other people are coming.
This goes to anything, right? Like you were talking about business. This goes to anything. This goes to your view on money, your view on lead generation, right? Like you have when I say the word lead generation, what comes to mind? First, I want you to spit out what comes to mind, right? What comes to mind? Phone calls. What else? Okay, what else?
Networking.
Does anybody get a weird feeling and it's like, oh, lead gen? Anybody? Right? Why is that? Something has programmed you to be like, this is scary, or I'm going to get rejected, or something has programmed you to think that, right? For me, I don't think that. It's like really fun to get rejected. Like that sounds weird, but it's like a fun game to me. And I had to reprogram myself to think that. Like when someone hangs up on me, I legitimately call back and I'm like, hey, I think we got disconnected. No, we didn't. I hung up on you. Well, that was rude. Right? Like, is that not fun? Like, that's fun. Or I could be like, oh my gosh, like, I'm like the first, like, that's real. Those are two different ways to look at it. And when you go into it and you're like, oh, this is terrifying. People don't like me, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you're right. Like, you're telling yourself that reality. Just like you just told yourself the reality that the only thing that was in that program were white shirts and a basketball and not a damn gorilla. Like I was so pissed I didn't see the gorilla. Okay. I'm like a competitive person. I'm like, no, I saw the gorilla. No, I didn't see it at all. Like, how could you miss a gorilla walking across the screen while you're watching a video? Like a human brain can only pick up 126 bits at a time. Out of 2 million, that's not very many. So I challenge you to think about what those 126 are for you. Personally, community-wise, work-wise, like what programming have you put into your system to get you where you are? I'm reading a book. It's called, what did I just say it was called? Something Fire.
Fire.
No, I don't remember what it's called. I'll have to figure it out. But
On fire.
it's about Navy SEALs and Google, right? And it's all about unconscious mind and being in flow. Have I been up here and someone's like, what did you just say? And I'm like, I have no idea what I just said, because I have no idea what I said because it was coming out of my brain from things that I learned that I didn't actually like consciously even say, right? Have you been in a listing appointment or somewhere where you're like, damn, I'm good, but I have no idea what came out of my mouth? Has anyone ever had that? Or like with your kids or a person and you're like, this is great. That's your unconscious mind and whatever program you put in there. Right? I challenge us to think on what our programming is. And now that John let me go to this training, we're going to be talking about it a lot. Do you find that helpful?
I thought I saw Rick Brahma walk across the stage in there.
Excellent.
Do you have?
I was in the suit.
I have one follow.
30 years
Like the one time in this training or whatever I was in, someone said your perspective is your reality, and that really hits home with me often. I have an identical twin brother, and we have different views on things, and it's interesting.
Yeah, it really is, right? Like my reality of the world is very different than what your reality of the world is. How many times have you been in a situation where someone said something to you and you took it completely wrong? It wasn't because of the words that came out of their mouth. It was because the things that you took from that because of whatever baggage that you had in your own brain. Like, it just is what it is. In that training, it was like, the words don't describe the environment. You're choosing the words and what they mean to you. It's like, I can say lead gen and I'm excited about it. It's still the same word. I could say lead gen and someone's like, oh, that's cold calls. That's terrifying. You put a meaning on that word, not a definition, you put a meaning onto it. Right? What other questions do we have? You're smiling at me back there. All right, I'm gonna have our vendor come up.
Welcome, Kit from Metro Mover. Welcome.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak in front of you all. My name is Kit Ingersoll. I am one of the founders and co-owners at Metro Movers. We are a local moving company based out of New Hope and specializes in stress-free locations. Our goal is to be the moving company that you confidently refer. You guys have happy clients, which leads to more referrals, giving you a stronger reputation as a realtor. Now, quick raise of hands. Can everyone raise their hand real quick, and you can lower your hand when I ask this question. How many of you guys like moving? Keep your hand raised if you like moving. All right, keep your hand raised if you love moving. Very good.
You got one.
I don't expect anyone to have their hand still raised besides me, but that's great. Can we go to the next slide, please?
Stuff fits in a car. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, that is true.
It's helpful.
I work for a couple of competitors. I do love moving. Yeah.
So the big realtor challenge. You guys have clients that are buying and selling a home. This is a major life change for them. You know, most people are moving every 15 to 20 years. Some are moving more often than that. Some are moving less. Moving is stressful. This is a fact. This is a major life change for people. So even if they're excited about it, there's still some stress involved when moving. As a realtor, you guys need trusted partners that you can refer. We are an extension of you. Anyone that you're referring, can come back to you with a bad or good reputation. Now, there's tons of moving companies. This can make it hard to know who to recommend with there being so many of us, but there's some key differentiating factors that help Metro Movers stand out. So why choose Metro Movers? An owner is involved in every move. We have direct oversight, whether that's a phone call, an in-person estimate, simply following up with a customer, or actually leading a crew ourselves if necessary. We're here for you guys. I'm dedicated to serving my clients, serving you guys, anyone that needs our services. We are a one-stop solution for any type of move. One call does it all with Metro Movers. From residential, commercial, business to business, specialty items, long distance or out of state moves. We really handle everything. There is a specialty item that we just most recently moved, and it was a $40,000 dining table that weighed 1,200 pounds, moved from Hastings to Wayzata. Thought I threw the picture up here, but really, really cool table. Kind of a nerve-wracking move when you're moving something that expensive. It had a live edge on it, so very, very important piece to move, but we really handle anything, guys. So we're here to serve you and your clients. So this is all backed by our proven trust and results. We have a strong online review presence. We have a perfect 5 and a 5-star record with over 319 Google reviews. We are consistently praised for our reliability, professionalism, and care in our comments, as well as on our Google reviews. We have multiple trusted partnerships with staging and restoration companies. As realtors, you guys might use stagers. We partner with Ambiance, Set to Show, 5-star Stagings, and Lindstrom Restoration, just to name a few. So for your realtor office, we are offering a special discount for 10% off to any client you guys refer to us for the months of February and March. This is also my personal number at the bottom of the screen. Just want to re-emphasize that I'm dedicated to you guys. I can be reached whenever you need. I run this business. I started it since the beginning. I really work all the time. I answer phone calls at 8, 9 p.m. It doesn't matter to me. I'm here for my business and I'm here for you guys. Are there any questions that you may have for me?
How do you guys do your pricing structure?
So I've actually got folders in the back with kind of a breakdown of our moving agreement and our pricing sheet just to take a look at it. But we charge by the hour at our hourly rate. So that kind of depends on the crew size. But I'd say if it's a typical residential house-to-house move, you're looking at a 3-man team, probably 6 to 8 hours, 1 truck, probably around $1,500 to $2,000 for your typical average full day move. Yes?
And along those lines, the thing that's most challenging is how do you handle the cost or the expense with the immediate possession? If you guys are moving everything the night before, you're leaving your truck full until the next day when we close in the morning, so
Yes.
like those overnight moves and stuff.
Yeah,
How do you
we
handle that?
accommodate, whatever our client needs. So we've run into, it's kind of been more of a thing last year, as recent, but clients that are closing and then they need to finish the sale the next morning or move in the next morning. So what we do is we try to load up the truck as late as possible in the day. That way we're not just holding items unnecessarily on our truck and costing the client more money. So if, for example, you had to be out of your house by 4 p.m., we start at 11, we're out of there by 3, we'll hold it at our shop overnight, keep the truck locked. If there are electronics, given it's cold, we will bring TVs, things that can't be outside, into our warehouse. But we'll keep the truck loaded and we'll go right into the move the next morning and just kind of fill
And
it
you
down.
just charge a fee for that service?
Correct. It's just a
Separate fee.
$100 overnight fee. We don't charge, the hourly rate while our truck is full. I know some other companies have done that, but it really just is like price gouging and, taking advantage of a client.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Awesome, and you brought lunch.
I brought lunch.
Thank you. And you can come up with right after this. Let's do wants and needs real quick before we grab lunch. Buyers, sellers, and whatnot. And if we don't have any.
Anybody got any buyers for a house in Lakeville? Yes, I was.
Like any houses?
Any house.
Or like-